our man, our guy, Shaun King, former NFL quarterback, Fox Sports Radio NFL analyst, real Shaun King on Twitter. We are down with the King. What's up, Shaun?
My guy K-Dub, my guy Rob. Hope you guys are great. Happy holidays to everybody listening. Let's get it.
No doubt. Real quick, when you look at the MVP, we're just having this conversation because Micah Parsons said that Joe Burrow was the MVP in his mind. How much do you factor winning into being an MVP?
I think it's very important because I don't think there's ever a year where you don't have multiple guys that have phenomenal individual seasons. And generally, 70% of those guys are on winning teams. So to give it to the 30% that isn't, I don't agree with. But I'll say this. The NFL needs to do away with the award if Saquon Barkley is not NFL MVP this year. They just need to do away with it. It gets to a point.
Is he that far ahead of Dwayne Henry? Of
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, I'm sorry. Or Dwayne Henry.
Shout out
Derrick
to Dwayne,
Henry.
whoever that is.
Absolutely, because Derrick Henry has looked like a really great running back. Saquon Barkley has looked like Superman.
He did jump over a human.
Yeah, like the NFL can't keep ostracizing this award by eliminating positions. Like, give it to the person that's the best player that year. And in my opinion, it's Saquon Barkley, and he just so happens to play running back.
Well, here's the pushback on that is if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. And so the quarterback has the ball the most, and he's the most important player. You could have a great running back. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning. So what's your argument for that?
They call it the top quarterback in the league, okay. And then let MVP be positionless. But and to push back just a little bit, I don't think Jalen Hurts is having a great year. I mean, if you take away all of the push touchdowns, which kind of inflate him statistically, because now he's run for all these touchdowns, I mean, he's having just an average year throwing the football. Like, that machine runs because of Saquon Barkley.
No, you're right about that. I mean, it's become a quarterback-only award, which is kind of whack because it takes away from the other guys who have done amazing things. And I was saying early on, Shaun, shoot, if Aiden Hutchinson kept going at the rate he was before he was injured, he could have messed around and made a case for himself as well. Let me ask you this. We've been talking about that game last night. The Lions-Packers ended up being a great game. You're quarterbacking the Lions. Let's say you're the quarterback and your coach calls a 4th and 1 decision like Dan Campbell did. Do you say, Coach, nah, not right now, not this time. We need this. Let's just kick the field goal. How does that work in the huddle? Or are you just all in? You don't even question it?
I mean, he doesn't have the authority to do that. I mean, if you want to fall out with your head coach, I mean, how can you go against him in that situation? But I'll say this. Dan Campbell better tuck his pride in his pocket. Because that decision, you see what happened last year in the Niners game.
Tell Kelvin.
Right?
I want you, Shaun, tell him.
Yeah. That decision last night was ludicrous. I mean, you pay those guys on defense. If you can't kick a game-winning field goal against a second-year starting quarterback in Jordan Love and have your defense stand up for 40 seconds, probably a little under that, then y'all not a championship team anyway, because that almost blew up. Jared Goff falls down.
Yes.
He just does a remarkable job of some kind of way giving Montgomery the ball. Like, I get being aggressive, but don't be stubborn and let stubbornness turn you into being stupid.
That's what I started the show with the same exact thing, that the Lions' weakest link is their coach, Dan Campbell. And you notice, Shaun, everybody thinks you're going to get to the Super Bowl, the next 8 years, 5 years. It doesn't work like that. Last year, he cost the Lions a trip to the Super Bowl. He did.
I agree. And I thought last night was a decision made based on what his historical data has been. Right? What he's historically done. He made that decision to uphold that image rather than the right football decision. I just think that's a very dangerous line to try and toe as a head coach.
Shaun, you and Rob are missing one key point, and I'm actually not far from y'all because I said this earlier in the show. I said, look, as a Lion fan, I was nervous. But we forget his defense was struggling that second half. Guys are going off on carts. Guys are injured. Guys are beat down. He picking people off the street.
32 seconds?
It just wasn't a random. It was also, if we miss this field goal and they're at the 35-40 now, my defense has been struggling right now with these injuries.
Stopped, what if you get stopped on a 4th down on that and don't even get a chance to get the field goal tried?
Well, the way the Lions run the football and move the football and all that, they had already done it for us.
They're not 100% on 4th down, so stop.
Steph Curry ain't 100% from the free throw line.
Hey, let's be honest. It was the wrong decision, but it worked out. And I think the worst thing was that it worked out. Because now I think he's going to get even more off-center when it comes to making these decisions. And I think it's going to cost y'all a game in the playoffs.
Thank you. It's the worst thing, 100%. I'm down with the King on this Friday night. Because Shaun is speaking the gospel. He is. He knows what it takes. And you're right. You're giving Dan Campbell a false sense of security that I can do whatever I want. I can make these, like you said, Shaun, this isn't like, these are unnecessary, ridiculous calls that don't need to be made.
100%. I take the field goal there, Dan. It is what it is. We're going to find out. It's fascinating to watch. I'm telling you, having been in this game as a player coach for as long as I have, that's going to bite them in the butt.
Why I got to bite us in the butt? Why can't you be he did it in the regular season, but he won't do it in the postseason?
Because hear me out, KW. The aggressiveness is not going to bite you, but when you start making decisions based on your image as opposed to what's the right football decision, that's going to bite you in your butt. That was not the right football decision.
It hadn't been done in 25 years. In 25 years. Ridiculous.
And you know what my Instagram always says every week, Rob? You know the Lions won again. The Lions won again. Hey, let me ask you this. And the AFC, with a couple of teams that don't get talked about. You got everybody talks about, of course, the Chiefs, which they deservedly so. And then you talk about the Bills and what they've been doing with Josh Allen. But I ask you, a team like the Chargers, a team like the Steelers, why can they be in the huddle and make themselves and say, hey, this is also our season too. We got a shot at this thing too. Can you make a case for them?
The Steelers have an absolute case. I might even say I wouldn't argue, excuse me, if you put the Steelers ahead of the Bills, because I think they're a more complete team. The Chargers have no shot, and here's why. They got rid of all their reputable pass catchers. Now you have a number one pick in Quentin Johnson who can't catch, which I don't know how much football anybody watches or listening, but that's kind of like a prerequisite for playing his position, right? Lamb McConkey's having a good rookie year, but tell me every time he gets tackled, he doesn't look like he's out for the game.
Right.
I mean, he's so frail. You feel so sorry for the kid. Then after that, they really don't have much. J.K. Dobbins just went on IR. I don't think they have the weaponry this year on offense to make a deep run. But defensively, they're elite. If they go out and add some pieces and Herbert continues to improve, I think down the line they'll be a threat. But I've got to wager in on Pittsburgh to win it all. I think Pittsburgh has a style of play that can go to inclement weather and be successful. They have a quarterback who's been at the highest level, who has a chip on his shoulder, something to prove, and they're talented enough now at the pass catcher, in my opinion, to be dangerous. So I like the Steelers, especially if T.J. Watt stays healthy. For some reason, he's always figured out how to get hurt every year the last 3 years, I think. But if he stays healthy, I like Pittsburgh to potentially win it all.
All right, Shaun, give us your best bets for this weekend. What do you got for us? How'd you do last weekend? Because I think you did you do all right?
I think I got hosed last week. I went 0-2. I think I took USC.
You did. Yep.
Right. And some kind of way, they were getting 7.5. They were down 7. And some kind of way they throw 200-yard interception returns for touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game. So go and figure that. But this week I only got one play, and it's in the MAC championship game. I'm taking the Ohio Bobcats tomorrow to get it done. MAC champion in the building.
Okay, right. Ohio Bobcats. All right, we got you. All right, Shaun, have a great weekend.
Ohio State. We don't call them Ohio State. Michigan's just Ohio. Thank you. Appreciate you, Shaun. Have a good one, brother.
Happy holidays, fellas.
Yes, sir.
And I can't wait till you and Rob are wrong in the postseason about the line. I can't wait.
Shaun laid it out for Kelvin. You got your panties in a bunch now. He won't listen to me, but a former NFL quarterback told you the same exact thing I just tried to tell you.
You man, it's crazy how like my headphones don't work. I couldn't hear nothing you just said right there. It's wild, man.